welcome to our channel. What are we making today?
We're gonna make beer bread for my husband and his co-workers and honey butter. So we have
Butter.
It is butter.
Melted butter.
Well, it's not melted, it's softened. We're gonna take softened butter, some salt, honey, baking powder, 1 can of beer. Now the beer, it could be any type of beer that you want, but I prefer Bud Light or Miller Lite. It doesn't have a strong beer flavor. When it's like a lager or like a dark beer, it's really strong and you can really taste the beer in that. So I wouldn't recommend that. No, what is this?
Powder.
Sugar, bread flour,
Bread
and
flour.
regular flour. So let's get started.
Ready?
Okay, so I'm going to show you the proper way how to measure flour. Most of the time people just stick the measuring cup right into the bag, and when people do that, it makes the breads and cakes very dense. We don't want that. We want something very light and fluffy. So we just take it and scoop it into the cup. We're going to take 2 cups of flour. Hold on. And then you're going to take anything flat. Usually I use a butter knife. And we're going to go ahead and smooth it out just like that. And go ahead and put it in there.
Taking the other one.
You want to do the other one? So we're going to take 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Just keep going until we fill it up. Yep, 1 more scoop. Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and scrape it off. Okay, put it in there. Now we're gonna take 1 cup of bread flour. Bless you. Thank you for squeezing in your arm. Hold on. And we're gonna do the same technique. Come on, because people are waiting. Waiting for us to start baking our bread.
And that bone.
And I just want to mention, this beer bread is okay for kids to eat if it's with a light beer, because there's no beer flavor. But if it's a darker beer, a lager, I wouldn't recommend it because they can really taste the beer. The alcohol does cook down, so you don't have to worry about them getting buzzed or anything like that. Okay, go ahead and put it in there. Okay, so we're going to do 1 tablespoon of sugar. We're just going to put it right in there. Nope. 1 tablespoon of sugar. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Hold on. 1 teaspoon of salt. This has to be very precise. Go ahead and pour it in. And we're gonna mix it. Let me get it. Yeah. Go ahead and mix it.
And it won't be that hard because there's no milk or water.
Okay, you got it? Okay. I also forgot to mention that we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of melted butter, cooled.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
And then I can mix.
Actually, let me go ahead and put this in the microwave real quick. Let me go ahead and Okay, I'm sorry about that. I also forgot to mention we want to add 3 tablespoons of melted butter that's completely cooled. How I normally do it is I form a little well like this in the flour, and I pour the butter right in the middle. And then now we're going to add the 1 can of beer. Right in the middle. We're not using this. We're going to use
the little one.
And also, adding the beer to the flour already has yeast inside. So normally when you make bread, you would add yeast. But we're not going to add yeast to this. Go ahead. We're not going to add yeast to this because the beer has yeast in it. Come on, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. So we're just going to go ahead and mix this up really good. Wooden spoons work really well. So does your hand. I like to use my hand, but today we're not going to use my hand.
Because it has the beer.
Okay, now we're going to add, hold on, 3 tablespoons of honey. Mommy's going to do this one. 3 tablespoons of honey.
Ooh, that looks jet.
Pour it in. Okay, wait. Hold on. Let mommy do this. I'm using half tablespoon, so we're going to have to do 6 spoons. And it's okay if you use heaping tablespoons. It's fine.
4.
Okay, we need to do 6. So how much more do we need? That's 4. We need, yep, 2 more.
5. 1 more.
And
6.
6.
Now we can go ahead and mix it.
So this is 3 tablespoons. Hold on.
Now we can mix it. Can I mix it?
I'm going to help you. Come on. Grab
I
it.
want to do it myself.
Oh, the joys of a 4-year-old. Want to do everything by herself, but not clean her room. Let's get it all mixed really well.
This big chunk.
Yeah. So it's going to be pretty thick.
Okay. I can do it myself.
Okay.
And okay, you can tell me what to start.
You want to talk to the people in the camera? What are you doing? Tell them what you're doing.
So I'm mixing some beer bread.
But who's going to eat it?
Daddy and his co-workers.
All right. Can mommy finish? All right. And you want to just mix it just until everything is incorporated. You don't really want to over mix it. Yes, you can go ahead.
Also, we're going to put it in the oven.
Yeah.
And how much minutes?
Hold on. So that's it. We're going to put it in a loaf pan. You want to go ahead and grease it really well so the bread doesn't stick.
We need all of it.
Yep, we need all of it.
Oh, I can do it.
I'm going to help you.
Do you think all of it will also fit in?
Let me see. Let go. Let go.
I taste a little bit.
No, you're not going to taste that. That's raw. Okay, that's it. We're going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 350 degrees for 50 minutes to 1 hour. We'll be back. Okay, so this is our finished bread. It was in our oven for 45 minutes. I let it cool just for a few minutes. I took it out of the pan. Now it's going to completely cool on a cooling rack before we slice it. So we're going to go ahead and make the honey butter. I have 4 tablespoons of salted butter softened. And I'm going to add half a tablespoon of honey. You want to mix it?
Yes.
Okay.
How are you going to mix it with?
Just a fork. I mean, just a spoon.
That's easy.
Go ahead. Can I help you?
No. I can do it. It's easy. A little bit hard though, but I can do it.
Okay. Can mommy finish it?
Yeah, but I can do the rest. Because it's not hard.
Okay, that's good.
Mommy, that looks like frosting.
Yeah. Alright folks, there you have it. Beer bread and honey butter. Thank you for tuning in our channel.
Subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up. And remember, always add a little aloha.